look, restaurants are a really great gig for filling I think it's important to have your time full as a human. And I think too much free time can be really damaging. Idle hands or whatever, devil's work.
The devil's playground. The devil. Yeah.
And I agree with that. So I think like, when you're an actor and you're hustling and you're auditioning during the day and you're waiting tables at night, like that's a great gig. That makes a lot of sense. We all did it. I did it. I worked in restaurants for 15 years. I mean, just doing the do.
Yeah.
But what's challenging about restaurants is that the money is too easy, and you are surrounded by people that are ultimately not doing what you want to be doing. And that environment can get really toxic. The resentment of an out of work actor who's waiting tables at night is hard to not take in. And as actors, we're all incredibly sensitive and open people. Like, the accessibility that you need as an actor is an open heart always. And it's really hard to not take in someone else's toxic shit. And so in restaurants, you're there. And if you're not diligent and you're not smart, you're surrounded by all of that. And then everyone's getting drinks after work, and then everyone's hanging out and having a drink after their shift or whatever. And so it's really, really hard. I think, to not fall into the trap of like just bad habits of like drinking, not, sleeping in too late, not getting it. So yeah. And
people don't get out.
Yeah. Or like, for me, there was waiting tables, and then I'd be in acting class, and like I would have these really insane, beautiful experiences in class. And I mistook that for the work for a long time. But like the work you do in acting class is not the work of the business. It's not the work that's going to get you a job. And it's so easy to fall into the trap of like feeling like you're doing stuff because you're in class every week and you're killing it, and you're hustling and you're making money, and yeah, you might be going on auditions and stuff like that. But like, I think it's so easy to fall into that space and spend years there.
Yeah. It was really interesting you say that, because everybody always asks me, the restaurant, I talk about this when I go around the country, used to before COVID, and do talks about visions and having your own vision. And I always talk about my 12 to 15 years, but 12 years in this one restaurant. And, and just people were like, why don't you go somewhere else where you can make some more money? I was like, I don't want to make more money in this job. I was like, I'll make the $120 hard. So it's hard for me to make it, because I always wanted to feel like I can give up this shift for an audition. I always wanted to feel like I could give up this shift for a part. And if you look at the track record of the people in that restaurant, I am maybe in a 0.5% of people who have booked and got out of there. And they're still, I go back and they're like, oh, you're DaJuan, you're the success story. They talk about it that way. I know. And so when I heard you talk about it that way, and that isn't a look at me, that is I made an intention, like it was very intentional not to be a part of that. You know what I mean?